I'm curious to see your thoughts on Shane Beamer at South Carolina, kind of see why we think he's on the hot seat over there. It seems like, just a little bit ago he was real popular with the team and real popular with the fans, and he still does technically have a winning record at the school. So I'm kind of curious what our thoughts are. Is Shane Beamer on the hot seat? How hot is his seat over there at South Carolina?
Well, I put him in here because I wanted to have a discussion about Shane Beamer. And, I don't think he inherited a great situation when he took over in Columbia. But it was kind of an interesting hire, a guy that had a lot of connections to the area. They were hoping that he would, build up through recruiting and have some quick success there. In his first 2 years, he really overachieved. Made a couple bowl games, won that Duke's Mayo game. He was the first coach ever to get that Mayo bath, if I do recall. So, 7-6, 8-5, 2021, 2022. Not bad at all, finishing third in the East in 2022. But last year, clear step back, 5-7, 3-5 in an SEC East that I don't think was necessarily a murderer's row in 2023. So, this is a pivotal year for him. I'm going to put his hot seat status. It's not a 4 out of 5. It's not a 5 out of 5. I'm going to put it somewhere between a hallelujah and a vampire killer. Maybe like a 2.5
2 and a
flame emojis if you're looking at your wing restaurant menu, right? So I think he's lost a lot of talent. He's also dipped into the portal. You mentioned Ishmael Sanders from Arkansas. His new destination is South Carolina. But last year just kind of left a lot to be desired. I think left a sour taste. He debuted so hot that it was just so disappointing for him to miss a bowl game. And it was really defined by a 4-week stretch in the middle of the season last year. They went 0-4 against Tennessee, Florida, Mizzou, and Texas A&M. Those are 4 teams that had more talent than South Carolina, 100%. I will give you that. That is a rough 4-week in a row stretch, and they almost rallied back. They were sitting there at what, 2-6 after that game at Texas A&M. And they rallied back 1-3 in a row and almost beat Clemson to make a bowl game. So, the finish was stronger, but that midseason swoon, man, just really left a lot to be desired. They weren't even really close in any of those games other than the Florida one at home. So I don't know. I just think this is going to be a pivotal season for Shane Beamer. I wouldn't put him on the hot seat yet. I wanted to have a conversation about him because last year was so disappointing in a down SEC East, but just wanted to have a conversation. I'd put him at about a 2.5 flame emojis, probably lean more towards the hallelujah at 2 flame.
Right. I think I'm tempted to agree with you. Is there a hot sauce where it just it's not hot at all and then you kind of wait for a little bit and then it gets real hot? Because I think that's where Shane Beamer is. I think this could be a really, really tough season for Shane Beamer in South Carolina. If you look at the schedule, this is I hadn't even looked at their schedule yet. This is where I'm kind of going to say, oh, this could get hot because there's not really a place to build momentum on this schedule. If you're looking at them this year, they go Old Dominion, at Kentucky. Wait, at Kentucky right out of the gate? Yeah, at Kentucky right out of the gate. LSU is week 3, and then Akron is week 4. Now, Akron, I don't think I'd pick them to win that game immediately, but you better watch out because it's a proud Akron team, and they're going to walk in there with the upset on their mind.
Okay.
They're going to be walking out there, and you might be looking at a 1-2 South Carolina team that just got beat down a couple weeks in a row.
I'd be more worried about Old Dominion sneaking up on them week 1 than
Akron. I don't know. Anyways, regardless, let's say that you're 3-1. I would say optimistically after that, you get your bye week. And then tell me where along this last half of the season you stack wins. Ole Miss, at Alabama, at Oklahoma, then another bye. Texas A&M at home, at Vanderbilt, Mizzou, Wofford, at Clemson. I don't see
Wofford will be a win.
Wofford will be a win. Vanderbilt will be a win. And I don't see where you stack lots of wins. Let's say that they beat A&M or Missouri. Probably not both, but let's say that they beat one or the other. Even if you beat both of those teams, that's what, 4 straight max on that schedule with A&M, Vanderbilt, Missouri, and then Wofford. That's maybe 4 straight that you could maybe optimistically say, yeah, we feel great about that. But Ole Miss, Bama, and Oklahoma in the middle of October, hey, dude, that's not fun. That's not a good way to start your season. And that's if they're 3-1 with a lot of momentum. And let's say they just lost to LSU. If they go 2-2 in those games and then lose 3 in a row, you could be talking about 2-5 going into the last part of the season. That's not a real confident team going into those games against A&M, Vanderbilt, Mizzou, where you kind of need to get up for at least A&M and Mizzou. You need to get up for those games and make sure you bring your A game. That could be tough. And if you're looking at a 4 or 5 win South Carolina team, yeah, it's going to be a hot seat next year. I think we might be just a year early on the hot seat on this one. So I will say it's probably about a 2, but like he's got to prove something this year. And I think he's going with Sellers as the quarterback and Sanders as his running back. Like you got to hope that that's going to be the equation that gets you over the top, because Spencer Rattler didn't quite do it for you. He had an okay year, probably not quite what a lot of Gamecock fans thought he was going to do. But I mean, I don't know where you're saying there's a massive improvement on this offense outside of saying, yeah, Rocket Sanders is a really good player and he's going to change your running back room, because he will. He'll be really good for you. But I mean, one good running back does not an amazing offense make. And so I guess you got to kind of wait and see what South Carolina is going to throw out there. It could be a tough season for him.
Yeah, it sounds like you're at about a maple chipotle, Garrett. Like maybe a sweet start, but a spicy finish for Shane.
I like a maple chipotle. Okay, I like it.
I've never had it. I haven't had it, but it sounds like the description here is a sweet syrupy glaze with a smoky chipotle kick, and that sounds exactly like what Shane Beamer might experience this year. Because you're right, there's no runway on that schedule. It's tough, and I think that's why I wanted to bring this up. I think the honeymoon might be over after this year, and he could be looking at a situation like Sam Pittman. Now, he could roll off a few of these. Like if he beats Kentucky, beats A&M, beats Mizzou, plays it close with Clemson, or upsets them again. Now we're talking, right?
Yeah, but what if he makes one of those cool rap videos again?
That might up the heat.
That could do something.
I'm not going to lie to you. that might up the heat even.
As long as he's not standing behind the players kind of creepy while it's spinning around like Brian Kelly, I think he's all right.
Yeah, I think you're right. Those PSA to college coaches, just stay out of the recruits' videos. Like you don't need to do that. Hire an analyst, or hire like some college age guys, or preferably girls, to get in the videos with them. That's what the recruits want. They don't want you in the background creeping.
They don't want some old white dude just sitting there like, hey, what's going on? I'm also a part of it. It's like, no, you're there to call plays and recruit and tell them how much NIL money they get. You're not there.
You close the deal. You close the deal. Let your recruiting staff handle the videos and the photo shoot. Absolutely.
Yeah. Gracious him. How about